First and goal at the 9-yard line when Bill Parcells calls a halfback pass. Leon Johnson.
Saints came to town with a 6-9 record, and we got to give them the nod for the way they played lately. Billy Joe Hobart, well, maybe not give him this nod. Maybe this wasn't in the playbook, Tom. Jerome Woods makes the pick, his 4th pick of the year. 31 interceptions thrown by the Saints this year. Gerback, though, obviously was rusty. He said so afterwards. An overthrow to Ted Thompson, and the rain didn't help either, Tom.
Yeah, you watched Gerback early on in this football game, and you could see that he just couldn't sight the receivers downfield and get the ball to him, and the weather certainly did not help.
Well, and then he was just struggling, and then Elvis got thrown down hard on his left shoulder. That's the shoulder he previously hurt, so by third quarter, he was out. 5 of 14 for 51 yards for Elvis. Well, they go to the run game, which has been quite good.
Yeah, you watch this interior line has played well all year. The center right there, Tim Grunhard, does a great job of moving Leroy Glover out of the hole to make some space for Greg Hill downfield.
But you know what the best weapon is for the Chiefs, arguably? Tamarick Vanover. Look at him, take the reverse, fake the reverse, and go down the sideline. He could go all the way. 82 yards. He's done this repeatedly. 12-0 Chiefs. Then 12-7 in the 4th. Look at Vanover again. Whoop, make the cut. Whoop, make the reverse. Inside the 10-yard line. 2 punt returns, 130 yards, setting up a Marcus Allen touch on 18-7 Kansas City. He single-handedly changed that Denver game, and he's really affected a couple others. Mark McMillan, touchdown last week on a pick. But just the overthrow by Hobart. And look at McMillan. 2 TDs in 2 weeks. He could, well, almost went. Down to the 7-yard line. 5 turnovers on the day, 55 on the season. The good news, the NFL record 63, so the Saints did not break that record. But the winner goes to the playoffs. The Bucs are going to the playoffs, but could they secure a home game? Steve Young and the 49ers to play some. Niners Seahawks, top of the hour. The Niners tuning up as the #1 seed in the NFC playoffs. Today was to be the last regular season game ever at the Big Sombrero. A packed house because usually the Bucs don't make the playoffs. And memories of Leroy Selman. Look at crackdown sweetness. And Doug Williams, who, well, I'll tell you what, he could come up with some intriguing plays, could he not? The last time the Bucs had a home playoff game was 79 when those guys were the stars. Now another number 12. Trent Dilfer leads a parade of 7 Pro Bowlers for the Bucs into the playoffs. And Dilfer, a dart like Doug used to throw, the Carl the Truth Williams against the Bears for a first down. Then the ankle, Tommy, looks much better with a week after last week's disaster.
Yeah, you see him there roll out the pocket to his right, find a receiver downfield, throwing very well on the run. Here we're going to see him come out the other way to the left, running to his left, throwing against the grain. Again, does a great job not throwing the ball, but running it in this time.
That's like Doug used to do. Touchdown, 7-0 Buccaneers. Still in the first quarter. Carl the Truth Williams makes the spin. Whoop! 3 Bears have him hemmed in, but no, he makes a cut right on the flag. And look at him go. Could go all the way. 61 yards, 14-0 Bucs. He had a punt return against the Bears for a touchdown in the last game of the regular season last year. Williams, look at this. Did they come in pairs today? Look at him sprint. Hard power run. The punter made a good tackle.
Yeah, that's a very good play by a punter.
End of the second quarter. Last week they couldn't run it all. Of course, Allstott was out. He played some, but the guy who really excelled was Warwick Dunn. Look at the rookie down to the 17-yard line. Then Dilfer says you can return punts. I'm going to throw it to you. Carl Williams, touchdown, 21-7 Bucs at the half. 21st touchdown pass of the year for Dilfer. What does that say about the Bucs when it's the the single-season record? Reagan Upshaw sacks Eric Kramer. 43rd Bucs sack. That's a team record. Then Warwick Dunn. Watch the moves. He is in some ways Barry Jr., although you don't want to pin him with that. But just watch in amazement. Warwick Dunn could go all the what? Almost. It's a 76-yard run, but that's the longest in Bucs history. Celebration at the Sombrero. And you know defense was going to play a part. With the score 31-15, Rick Meyer, no time to wallow with Rick Meyer. Warren Sapp, Pro Bowler. Look at him rumble down in deep into Bears territory. Next week, we believed in the Bucs. The Bucs will now host the playoff game. Not so fast to the new Sombrero. They got one more at the Big Sombrero as they are home next Sunday in an NFC opening round game. The Bucs win it 31-15. Their first time in the playoffs, of course, since '82, and they ran for 183 yards with Dunn having a $119.
Yeah, Dilfer Dunn and defense. You get the careful game, quality game by Dilfer, 10 for 18, only 94 yards, but he didn't make the mistakes. 119 rushing from Dunn, and then you get good, solid defense that creates some turnovers. Similar game plan to the Giants in Kansas City.
So they held the Bears to 203 yards, and the Buccaneers going into the playoffs as the number 4. Just the play that he makes, Tommy.
Yeah, look at the replay. Great grab, presence of mind to get his feet down, and he knows he's going to take a hit.
What about John Randall? He has had a great year.
Randall here blowing by Adam Meadows. Look at him get the strength, the power. Does a great job of dragging Harbaugh down.
Blew past Adam Meadows and Sheila McCray. Harbaugh suffering abuse in the second quarter. He scrambles. He's slapped ahead by Dwayne Rudd. No flag, but would not return in the second quarter. With the score tied at 10, the spin doctor, Robert Smith. And I tell you, when he has a lot of feel. What moves we've seen today. Look at him put the burst right here and look for a block. Slow it up. Look for a block. Then try and burst into the end zone. Smith down to the 4-yard line, a 76-yard run. Second and goal from the 3. Cunningham, pump fake, all he does.
Catch touchdown.
Vince Carter, 17-10 Minnesota. On the touchdown, he ties one of our favorites, Don Maynard, 4th place all-time touchdowns with 88. His touchdown reception. Still in the second quarter. Now Kelly Holcomb playing quarterback. Corey Fuller just makes the pick, and he's not done. He makes the move at the 20, makes the cut at the 18, dipsy doodles inside the 15, spinning to the 11, which sets up a couple plays later. Leroy Horde, right up the gut, 23-10. Vikings trying to snap out of their lethargy. On the extra point attempt, history. First time Eddie Eat, Drink, and Be Murray has had a PAT blocked in all the years that he's kicked. Nice job by Quentin Koya. Holcomb picked off by Robert Griffith. Where was that throw? And Griffith, the Vikings, what they do early in the year, they make yards on all the returns, Tom, with all the turnovers. Jim Harbaugh, he'd seen enough, although he would come back. 1st and 10, Colt 14, Cunningham, Andrew Glover. 29-10, Vikings at the half.
Yeah, Stephen Grant right there, spot shadowed the linebacker who's going to be lined up on Glover. Watch him, he gets his head turned. Now he's in coverage. Randall knows he can't see the ball coming and needles one into Glover.
So Harbaugh back in the third quarter. 3rd and 10 from the 46 to Marshall Faulk. Faulk's had a good 4 to 6 weeks, and he's down to the 27-yard line. 1st and goal from the 3. Faulk runs it in for a touchdown. 2-point conversion is good, and the Colts are down 29-18. Vikings come back. Cunningham, Chris Carter. Now he passes Maynard. 3 touchdowns, 36-18, the Vikings. 4th quarter. Randall Cunningham. Pass tipped by Jake Reed into the hands of Jason Belzer, and Belzer is going to make it a game. Nice cut for a touchdown. By 34 interception return down to the 4. 4th and goal from the 2. Lindy decides to go for it. Harbaugh, here's the touchdown to Starvin Marvin Harrison, but Harbaugh limps off after being hit by John Randall. Colts down 36-28. Late 4th quarter. Holcomb's pass hits Tarek Land, bounces in the air. Holcomb couldn't get it done on the day. Robert Griffith, another pick. The Vikings survive their first win since November the 9th. So Dennis Green been in the playoffs 5 of the 6 years he's coached. Of course, he's never won a playoff game, but give him the nod. The Vikes are back in. As the 6th seed, they'll play the Giants. Vikings win it 39-28. Robert Smith, 160 yards, and he sets a single-season Viking rushing mark with 1,266 yards. Well, since it was an early game, the Redskins knew if they won, either Minnesota or Detroit lost, Washington would get in. Bobby Hoying has been the hope for Philadelphia. Drops back, but he gets pounded by Darryl Pounds. And what is it, Tom? The triple play. The sack, the recovery, and a touchdown. 7-0, the Redskins. 3rd and 5, Eagles. Hoying to Christy Jones. Oh, no. Hoying. Oh, no. And one thing we know about Darryl Green, no one's going to catch him. He's gone. 83 yards for the Pro Bowler. 14-0, the Redskins. On the ensuing kickoff, Deuce Staley. It's not a card game. It's a good kickoff returner. Cuts down the left side. A.C. Ducey all the way until the Sheriff, Stanley Richard, knocks him out at the 32-yard line. 57-yard return. 2 plays later, now Hoying feeling better. It's Jason Dunn. Well done. 31 yards, 14-7 Skins. Now it's 21-7 Skins. Hoying to Chris T. Jones. Marcus Patton. Mrs. Jones. Stanley Richards. What? Mrs. Jones. Jesse, finally they make the tackle. Nice play by Jones, 33 yards, Tommy. And then Kevin Turner, the Skins having trouble tackling.
Yeah, great setup here of the screen pass to Kevin Turner, and he does a great job of running through a couple of Redskins, including Ken Harvey, down to the 9-yard line.
Mark Shake Your Boutte finally makes the tackle. Charlie Garner had a good game. Left side with Waters and Civvies. Richard nails him at the goal line. They call it a touchdown. It appears that Garner might have been knocked out first, but they call it a touchdown, and now it's 21-14. Greg Jefferson leads with his helmet, knocks Haas out for a couple plays, personal foul. Under 6 minutes to play in the half. Larry Bowie, we can be heroes if just for one day. A Ziggy Stardust 3-yard run, 28-14 Skins. But Brian Dawkins picked off the Haas, and look, he will run it back to the 42-yard line. Haas's 6th pick in the last 2 games. Eagles try to capitalize on the turnover. Charlie Garner, touchdown. What a wild game this is. They get a 2-point conversion, 28-25, Washington. Ensuing kickoff, nobody has worse special teams than the Philadelphia Eagles. Not that Brian Mitchell hasn't burned many teams, but Thomas clobbered him for several years.
The entire year this year, this has been a problem for Ray Rhodes, and he knows it's something he has to shore up with people who will provide depth for his frontline personnel.
So here's an offense which has outgained Washington almost 2-1 in the game, but the special teams, after the team gets close, lets Haas to Michael Westbrook get close for the touchdown. Now it's a 10-point game again. Hoying to Oizen. Fryer for a huge first down on 4th and 20. 2 plays later. Very famous name for a wide receiver. Not the Niner, but the Eagles. Freddie Solomon. Touchdown. 35-32, a $1.10 to go. Now, you can't expect the Eagles special teams to recover the onside kick, can you? Bone-nosed kick recovered by the Skins. And a wild, wild game. Norv Turner over Ray Rhodes' Eagles. And the Eagles are the only team that didn't win a road game all year. 0-7-1. The Skins then would have to wait to see if they would get in the playoffs. They knew the Vikings won. They had to wait to see if the Lions won or lost. The Skins win it by the count of 35-32. But then for Philadelphia, hope in the future with Bobby Hoying. But, Tommy, let's go back to the Minnesota game because just in time, a couple old friends hooked up, didn't they?
Randall Cunningham and Chris Carter. I think certainly a quarterback when he's feeling his way around.
Want to get that winning feeling again, where better to do it than at home. And the playoff mini game, Jets, Lions. Barry was the show because the Jets.
See, another one. See, it's Christmas. Thank you.
When we get to the postseason, we usually just shorten the show a little bit. But you've had a great run, Stuart. I want to thank you before we even get to the end of the show. But you know what? It's time to throw some fourth-quarter passes for you.
All right.
We'll get some games for you.
Let me zing them. Talking about passes.
It was fun this year.
Thank you very much. I had a blast. Hey, you know, it would be easy to criticize the Raiders for being possibly the biggest disappointment in the NFL, but they already know it, so why rub it in? Instead, as Oaktown closes with playoff-bound Jacksonville, expect big numbers in this game. The top 3 receivers in the AFC, Tim Brown, Keenan McCardell, and Jimmy Smith in this game, and Tim Brown in line to set 3 Raider receiving marks in one game. Let's kick the video from Oaktown. Mark Grinnell, the Jags opening drive, first play, 1st and 10. Natron means, breaking off a little something, kid. Untouched, the former Tar Heel up the middle, 18 yards, and the first down. 7 plays later, Mark Grinnell looking deep. Keenan McCardell, butter. Sweet grab, 35-yard touchdown. McCardell's 5th touchdown catch this year, 7 catches, a $116 in the game. Raiders next drive, 2nd and 10. Jeff George hooking up with Tim Brown, 8 yards, 589th career catch, ties him on the Raider all-time list with the great Fred Biletnikoff, Super Bowl 11 MVP, the king of the Stickum. 3rd down, 5 yards to go. George looking for Brown, money, 20 yards. Brown into the record books, 590 for his career. Raider receiving coach, Fred Biletnikoff, giving up the props. Brown, 14 catches on the day, 599 now for his career. TJ.
Yeah, regardless of record, Timmy Brown can hold his head high, does a great job of running patterns everywhere on the field, and he ran that one inside.
Yeah, here we go. James Jett. Booyah! Jett was looking for his 13th touchdown catch this year. Instead, he got popped, fumbled the ball. Jacksonville's next possession, 2nd and 3. Brunell, wide open Damon Jones. You know, Damon Jones only had 4 catches all season coming into this game. sorry player. His second touchdown of the year, 14-zip Jags. Joe Bugel not happy. Jags win the game 20-9. Mark Brunell, 18 of 27, 243, 2 touchdowns. Jags finish 11-5, and they're dancing in the playoffs. Jeff George, 23 of 36, 238 yards, touchdown. Timmy Brown, in one game, he sets a single-season Raider receiving record, a single-game Raider receiving record, and a career Raider receiving record. Sounds weird to say it, but Falcons going for 6 in a row to end the year at Arizona. First quarter, no score. Chris Chandler with the radar lock on
The Seahawks? But look at this. The New York Football Giants. You're the reason. Forget Jim Fossil.
Fossil's a good guy, but it's this whole karma.
That's
right. The Giants, because I remember a whole lot of earlier in the year, a whole lot of howdy.
That's it. That's it. You had the secret before the rest of us. That was fun, Stu. The Stu games. 8 Giants this year. Well, the Broncos, one of the teams that, well, we had a lot. You had the Bolts, though. Terrell Davis inactive, but since Bettis didn't play, he wins the AFC rushing crown. At shoulder, well, we'll have to test it next week in the playoffs. Dunaway under pressure. It's intentional grounding. Jerry Markbright calls it a safety. He was on the 3 when he threw it for Tom. This is a bizarre development.
Well, certainly a good correction of the call by Mark Bright and his officiating crew, but I just wonder how they reversed the call.
Well, so did Kevin Gilbride. Well, we caught a peek of it on the jump. No, we didn't. Well, at any rate, it was a good reversal. Meanwhile, Vaughn Abram getting more playing time when Davis hurt 17 yards. Then Elway, the easy Ed McCaffrey, first down. Chargers lead at 3-0 here in the second quarter. Elway, Ron Smith. Well, now, this was interesting, too. Did he get both feet down? Well, they say he did. Gilbride going berserk, and it's 7-3. The Broncos. Gary Brown needed 82 yards for 1,000, left with a groin injury, so he could not get his $1 million bonus, although he got a lot of it. Greg Wheelahan picked off by Steve Atwater. 3 plays later, Elway, Gerard Smith. This one, hey, 2 feet are in, 14-3.
Well, yeah, and a great little outside move right here on Paul Bradford. He ducks inside, comes back out where the safety can't get to him, makes a nice grab of the ball. And that time, he actually got his feet.
Yeah, and there was no debate on that. Next Bronco drive, Elway to Shannon Sharp. Good coverage. And Sharp is, did he get it? No, almost. Rumbles to the 1. Next play, Elway, play action to McCaffrey, touchdown, 21-3 Denver at the half. Broncos looking to join San Francisco, Kansas City, and Green Bay as going 8-0 at home this year. Elway, good coverage. He's open for 68 yards, Shannon Sharp. And this is a touchdown.